discuss AI, artificial intelligence. It's the hot subject. Everybody is interested in knowing about it, in seeing how it reflects in their business. But if you're a consumer, do you feel like AI is a feature of a business that's beneficial to you? And there's no right or wrong answer, right? We have businesses that use AI, we have those that do more human interaction. We want to get your feedback on what is desirable as a consumer. Is automation helping get you better customer service? Would you rather talk to a chatbot than a person? Sometimes people are idiots. You can't get any straight answers out of them. Sometimes you go round and round on phone trees and you want to talk to an actual human. What is your perspective? And the reason this is coming up today is there's a great article in The Verge where it talks about AI is killing the old web and the new web is struggling. Um, Basically, it's saying the AI is making it cheaper to generate low quality content. So what that means is that companies are using AI just to churn out vast amounts of content, whether it's websites, whether it's blog posts, articles, answers to questions. And the way that this article is framing it, and we'll look at a couple other examples, is Twitter is being abandoned to bots, junkification of Amazon, shitification of TikTok, layoffs are gutting online media. And in one job posting that was found in an employment website, they're looking for an AI editor. Well, really, if it's using AI or not really much of an editor or just a button pusher, they expect an output of 200 to 250 articles per week. So that editor has to make 250 articles per week. So in a 5-day week, let's say that's 50 articles a day. That's a pretty high barrier. A good reporter journalist might write 1 or 2 articles a day. AI is writing 250. Is that good or bad? Um, Places are flooded with AI generated junk. Chatbots cite one another. So, have you dealt with chatbots? Is that something you deal with when you do a customer service call or an email or one of those online help desks? Is artificial intelligence helping you? Is it making it better? Is it making it worse? Would you rather, if you go to a website, deal with an actual person, or would you rather deal with a chatbot? Chatbot can spit out a lot of answers. The question is it any better? And what are the differences? Let's take a look at a couple of the differences too. In this case, it talks about 7 reasons why AI can't replace humans. Let's see if you agree with any of these. Number one is it lacks emotional intelligence. What does that mean? Well, you call somebody up, talk to them on the phone. They can give you straight, robotic, flat answers, but most of the time, a person's going to want to understand what you're asking. You can see this graphic here. They talk about empathy, team building, coaching. So if you're asking a question and you're really mad, part of what you're looking for on that phone call is not just the flat answer. You also want some understanding of what you're trying to get at. Because if it's just AI, now you're responsible for figuring out what actually the answer you want is. So, what is emotional intelligence? It's a distinguishing factor that makes humans forever relevant in the workplace. Do you believe that? Or do you believe that AI can just take care of everything? We're social animals. We have an undeniable need is the need for emotional connection. So that begs the question when you talk to a help desk or a customer service person or whoever, um, does that connection help you or does it hurt you? Sometimes you go to a place, a store, and you don't want to talk to anybody. You just want to help yourself. You go to Home Depot and they say, "Hey, can I help you find a hammer?" No, I want to find it myself. Right? How do you respond to all this? How do you prefer to interact with a company. And human intelligence requires empathy and a deep understanding of the human experience. We had an example many years ago, and this wasn't AI, but this was a customer service person who was human, actual human, but they did not live in the US. We've all had that example where you call customer service for your bank or for the airline or whoever it was, and it's obviously they're not in the United States, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They're very well trained. They know a lot of stuff, but sometimes there's a little bit of a language barrier. But even if there's not, here's one of the barriers we ran into. We called up a company, and I believe it was a bank because we were dealing with some credit card charges. And the person on the other end was going through the charges to see dates and times and whatnot. And this tells you how long ago this was. One of the charges was for Blockbuster. And anybody who is, older than maybe 30, 25, 30 knows what Blockbuster is. It was a video rental store, obviously, that no longer is really that viable. Although there is one left in Bend, Oregon, one Blockbuster left. And the person on the other end says, "Oh, Blockbuster video on this date for $20. Yep. And they said, "What is Blockbuster?" So obviously anybody, and this was in the 1990s, who lived in the United States in the 1990s, they knew what Blockbuster was. So the fact that they didn't have that knowledge was a contextual thing. So is AI going to have any of these issues? When it comes to empathy and understanding of the human experience, AI doesn't understand or feel pain. Well, is that good or bad? When you talk to a customer service person, are they responding to any difficulty you're having, any frustration you're having, any anxiety you're having, or anger? Do you want them to? And if live human customer service isn't helping with that, would you rather it just doesn't exist and you just go to AI? So some company executives are understanding the importance of emotions. So that's number one. Number two is it can only work with inputted data. So the AI machine can only answer based on what's been put into it. Well, that's the same with a human. A human can't answer a question of something it doesn't know. So I don't think this is really an advantage to AI because AI can input large volumes of data. A person can only learn so fast. AI can pick up data, but it doesn't learn behavior of humans. It learns facts and data. And this is where it gets into human reasoning. So think about the telephone game. It's an old kind of philosophy where if you have 10 people in a circle and one person whispers into the ear of the other and it goes around the circle, by the time it gets back to the first person, the story that's told or the sentence that's told is different because everybody understands it a little bit different way and they change it. Is AI going to be a victim of the telephone game where it doesn't have that reasoning? Have you dealt with an AI system that was obvious that it was a chatbot or chat GPT? So creative process. Does AI have a creative process? This is not so much for customer service, but where AI is creating either marketing, advertising, artwork, design work, right? Maybe even written stories. Is creativity important in the workplace? Do you want, when you talk to somebody on the phone, any small talk? If you call up a company and they say, "Hey, how's the weather where you live?" Or, "Gee, that's a nice, product you bought," whatever it is. Do you want that small talk or you just wanted to get down to business? What are the benefits of AI, the benefits of actual human, right? We want to know because we have both. You can see on the screen right here, we have actual human. You can talk to an actual human and ask them questions about a number of professions. You can also go to various websites we have for insurance, investigations, mediation, legal adjacent, and there's chatbots, automation. We want to know from you which one is better, or are they both usable? Do they both have a purpose in the marketplace? Here's something else that humans can do. They can think outside the box, right? If you have a problem as a customer and a solution might be something very creative or something wild off the wall, it's unlikely AI is going to come up with that, where a human might be able to and come up with something because they understand your plight, because they are maybe hearing the frustration that you have. Maybe it's an airline and you're stuck in a town somewhere, and they say, well, rather than waiting for the next flight, what if we rented you a car and you could drive there? Like, they can think of these solutions. Is that going to be a benefit? Soft skills. Well, this is important. This is things like teamwork, attention to detail, critical thinking that they already mentioned, interpersonal skills. This is where I think that an actual human has a benefit if they're good at personal skills. If you're just getting some, random, uncaring, voice in a box, interpersonal skills aren't going to matter. For example, if you go to the McDonald's drive-through, the interpersonal skills of the person behind the speaker probably don't matter because it's just order something and they read it back. But then again, when McDonald's announced a couple years ago that they're transitioning some of their drive-throughs to automation AI, there was a big pushback. People didn't want it because what if they get something wrong? There's nobody to talk to. I think that's one of the biggest fears, isn't it? That if you're talking to a machine, you get stuck in some kind of a loop, you get stuck in some kind of a logic, blow up where it doesn't get what you're trying to answer and it just keeps going around in circles or gives you bad information. With a person, they can intervene and say, hey, what's going on? Humans are taught to possess these skills like interpersonal skills, teamwork. Chatbot can't work with another chatbot. It can't ask a manager for help. It can't ask another rep for help. Humans make AI work. Well, that's not really a big deal. There would be no artificial intelligence without humans. But yeah, there would be, because once it gets put out there, then it can run forever. So I don't think that's valid. This is an opinion. This is not a fact. AI is meant to complement human ability, not compete with it. Well, I don't know. Right? I mean, it's costing jobs. As you can see from here, AI may they work medical miracles. It's taking jobs. We did a video the other day about how it's taking millions of jobs, but let's not go there for the time being. AI are gaining ground in the workplace, and they will replace many jobs. Well, that sounds like it's competing with it. It doesn't sound like it's complementing it. All those people that lost their jobs are not complementing with AI. They competed and they lost. So I don't know how this can be anything more than an opinion. Evolving workplace demands will create new roles for humans. Maybe, but you probably don't need as many. In the same way now that a very low tech automation system of a robot in an assembly line at a car factory, one robot might replace 5 workers that used to bolt fenders or attach moldings on a car. Sure, that robot might need one manager, programmer to watch it and push buttons, but it still replaced 5 people. So it will create new roles, but there's not going to be as many. They'll be different, but there will be less. According to the World Economic Forum, which is controversial to begin with, machines with AI will replace 85 million jobs. But it says 97 million jobs will be made available. Think that's true? What are those jobs? What are the jobs humans can do to work with AI? AI needs to be fact checked. Yeah, that's kind of true. But in reality, that's the whole purpose of AI or chatbots is to be factual. Artificial intelligence is not able to police itself. That's a scary thing. And this is, kind of a cheerleader thing. Oh, learn to work with AI and not fear it. To me, the biggest thing of all of these is number one, emotional intelligence. If you're talking to somebody, a skilled, quality person that really has an understanding and wants to care about you as a consumer, as a person trying to help you out, then That's going to be an important part of it. As of right now, it's saying, New York Times, that it may someday work miracles in healthcare. For now, it's doing paperwork, and that helps because if it's taking the heavy burden of documentation that takes hours and contributes to burnout for a doctor, well, that's good because then the doctor can work on more important, critical things, right? Spend up to 2 hours typing. Now it's a thing of the past. The question is it going to replace things that require human interaction, conversations? If you have a problem or a question about a situation or a business scenario, would you rather talk to ChatGPT, chatbot, or an actual human? And why? That's the question. When you pick one of those choices, when you pick that one, what is the why behind it? Is it that you have a bad experience dealing with humans, that they're stupid anyways? If you picked AI, is it that you picked human because you don't want to talk to a machine? You want to have control? That's one of the other things about AI. You don't really have control over it. You can't say, stop, listen to me. You can't say, no, that's wrong. Here's something else. With a human is going to respond to things other than words. It's going to respond to your actions, your emotions, your inflection of voice. Is that important? Does your employer, whoever that is, whoever you work for, already express an interest in artificial intelligence? Are they already using AI or ChatGPT or other methods to deal with customers? Or are they sticking with humans? One of the things about companies that are going to AI, you can save a lot of money. But is it a better outcome? Is it better for the customer? If you're a large company like AT&T or some other major airline, artificial intelligence may have a benefit because you can put a lot of resources behind it, spend a lot of money making it as polished as you can. But if you're a small company, Joe's Landscaping, Sally's insurance company, whatever, do you want AI talking to your customers, or should you just be dealing with them yourself? And there's a lot of doomsday thought about it. This is one point of view. Obviously everybody looks at that Terminator robot. Will AI destroy humanity? Warnings are coming from all angles. Poses an existential threat to humanity and must be shackled. What are the disaster scenarios, though? Right? Once we have machines that have self-preservation, we are in trouble. Is that ever going to apply in the business world? Right? Sure, if they're armed and they're weaponized, yeah, that's a problem. But what about in the business world? What about if an AI decides, giving good customer service is not in the best interest of the company, because maybe the customer will need to buy more stuff if we don't give a good answer? Is that going to happen? If the AI chatbot says, wait a minute, my program tells me I'm supposed to act in a way that has more sales, more revenue, and I learn from experience that if I give bad answers, the person will need to buy more things because they still have a problem. Even if they're frustrated, even if they're mad and angry, they're going to need to buy more stuff because I didn't give a good answer. Is that a self-preservation? The AI is given the ultimate goal of paperclip output, so it proceeds by converting the earth and then large chunks of universe into paperclips. That's the thing. If you tell AI to do something, it's going to stick with that context. It's not going to look at the big picture, right? It's argued that companies are bad enough with that. If you say make a profit, be capitalistic, and sell a bunch of widgets, it forgets about everything else. It forgets about environment or whatever, goes into it, and just builds a bunch of widgets and sells a bunch. Well, take care of your customers. Well, that doesn't help us sell anymore. Is AI going to have the same problem? The same, maybe it's called a um, social risk problem. Is the programming of AI going to overtake the rational thought of what a human would want to tell you? Is it can overtake what you want to hear from a human? Even certain brands are starting to be impacted by AI. As an example, you're going to find advertising isn't advertising anymore. Much of the award-winning work was AI. Landscape has shifted so much that individual can now have more sway than a brand. So if you're a small company, an individual, you can actually do more than a large company can because of AI. Does that give you hope as an individual, as a small business, as somebody with a side hustle? Or does it give you concern? Are you a medium or small company, or medium or large company that's worried about AI giving the smaller companies an edge? Maybe it'll level the playing field. Could it go that way? A lot of questions in this video. We want to hear what the opinion of the masses are. What are most people thinking? Because these articles are just one person's opinion or maybe an editorial board opinion. We want to hear what you're really thinking, and don't do a knee-jerk reaction of I don't want AI. Think of the why. How's it going to benefit you? How's it going to hurt you in your job, and you're dealing with companies, and you're getting your questions answered? For example, if you have a question about, I don't know, how to, you want to buy a car or you want to buy a TV, do you get your information from YouTube, from online, or do you talk to an expert? Which would you rather do? And does it vary based on the product? Obviously, if you want to get information on a car, most people don't like talking to car salespeople because that they're high pressure and they're going to try to push you into a car. They might not even give you the right information if it's not going to help them sell a car. Maybe if you're looking to buy a birthday cake from a baker, they're going to give you information because they don't really have that same sales motivation. But will AI develop those same profit motives? Will they have that same need to serve the person or company who produced it, who created it, and make the answers support the wishes or the goals of that company? If it's a car dealership, you can go on their website and it has Chat GPT or AI and it gives you answers. What if those answers are all designed to steer you towards a purchase and doesn't give you the right information? How do you know if it's right or wrong? Right? If you have to fact check AI, then what good is it? By the same token, you might have to fact check a person too. Who's right? Where does the fog of information start to become clear? And how can you tell if somebody's giving you unbiased information, number one, and number two, that even if it's unbiased, they're accurate, they're experienced, they're skilled, they have expertise, they have knowledge. More important, they have wisdom. If a person wishes to tell you the truth, but they're stupid, a stupid truth is no better than a smart lie. Because if somebody's smart and they're lying to you, it's going to have the same damaging effect on you as somebody who's stupid but telling you their truth. So AI is only going to be as smart as the people who wrote the software for it to generate information and also wrote the algorithm for how it doles it out. What's the purpose behind it? If there's a filter that steers it one way or another, that's going to give you information only from a certain lens, a certain perspective. And humans can do that, but is AI going to do it? Is AI going to do it worse? Is it going to do it more aggressively? Again, the purpose of this is to get what the public thinks about this at this point. We're still early on in AI. A lot's going to happen. But what do we think right now? And what do we predict is going to happen? Do we think that the powers that be, the companies that are creating this, are going to turn it into something good? Or are they going to use it for nefarious purposes to serve their own interests, which will defeat the whole purpose of having an efficient way of getting information out there, an efficient way of gathering information? Is it more efficient for you as a consumer to get information from artificial intelligence, or to get it right from the horse's mouth from a person? Who knows? A person might be stupid. They might be ignorant. They might not understand what you're saying. Do you have the experience when you do talk to people in any kind of profession or business that they know what they're talking about? Do you trust them? Would you rather trust a machine that's unbiased, that doesn't have human greed, human jealousy, manipulation built in? Or would you rather trust an AI that doesn't have any feelings? Pros and cons. What do you think? Or does it depend? And how are you going to know? How are you going to know which one is right? A lot to think about in the next couple of years.
Are you tired of automated systems and chatbots when you need assistance? Experience actualhuman.com and connect with real professionals, not automation. At actualhuman.com, we bring you a network of professionals who are excited to answer your questions and provide guidance. Getting started is easy. Let us show you how. Here's how it works. Step 1. Select the best date and time for your video call. Step 2. Describe your situation and the areas you're looking for advice. Step 3. Connect one-on-one with an expert and get the undivided attention that you deserve. Experience the difference. Visit